It's a nice mobilization, loosening, address the inner and outer bladder meridian onto the sacrum. So we're going to continue now into the lower torso. So I'm starting to work here on one side and just going to look at how to loosen the hip a little bit. And I always like to introduce a little movement just to see again how the body reacts to that level of movement. So you see it's pretty nice movement. And I'm going to start with some compressions in the gluteal to address the bladder meridian and the gallbladder meridian as it passes through. So I'm checking out to see where the iliac crest is for the hip, and I'm going to start compression just distal or below the iliac crest so I can get in the upper fibers of gluteus medius and then into the belly of gluteus maximus and then sinking down into belly of piriformis. So what to do? I think I'll try my knee. So I can just let my body weight go in there just to get a little loosening of the gluteals, but also a little opening in lower back, just using body weight. Pressure's okay? Okay. And now I'm going to add a little compression. He jumps around a lot. I'm going to add a little compression here. So I'm going to bring the leg out, and I'm going to use the flat of my fist. So notice I'm on one knee and one foot, so I can have a little height. So I can have a nice extension in my arm, and I'm going to bring the leg across so that the musculature comes up to the surface, and then I'm going to apply compression with the flat of my fist. So like this. So you get that mobilization. And you're working in between the two bony landmarks that are prominent here, yes? The lateral border of the sacrum, and then on the side more the greater trochanter of the femur. So in between here is where you're going to engage all the tissue. So loosening, loosening. And then loosen up, so now I'm going to use my knee. So notice I'm like this, I'm going to come down and use this knee. So as I bring across, sink in. And I'm coming in at this angle here so that I can get between the sacrum and the greater trochanter. You can just continue right through this trough and get all the gluteal. So I'm coming, just sinking in. Pressure okay? Mm-hmm. So yes, yes, and now, same thing, pinning, stretching. This is a good move. Pinning and stretching. Such a good thing to do for somebody. Okay, so this is nice.
Is that good for sciatica?
It helps, you know, depending on the source of sciatica, because a lot of times because of the length of the nerve, it can get impinged at the root, sometimes in the gluteals, mainly by piriformis, but also in hamstring too. So it depends. And as far as continuing the shiatsu down into the hamstring here, so bladder meridian comes through here, bladder meridian, right? And when we turn the leg like this, we get gallbladder meridian. So we're going to be addressing those two primarily. So after gluteals, hamstrings, what to do? This way, or else this is a nice way. So I'm just using the arch of my foot and just coming down. Because hamstrings are, you know, thicker and longer. Pressure's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Easy, yeah? So do a couple times, so it's leaning in on exhale. Just get that part just before it attaches to the knee. So nice. Come down. Stretch. Hi. So, gonna stretch. Now, I wanted you to be a little bit more specific to the bladder meridian as it comes through the hamstring, because that's the energy channel that comes right through it. So, we're gonna use the ischial tuberosity as a bony landmark. So this site is the common point of attachment for all the three hamstrings, but also just immediately distal to it is a very good release point on the bladder meridian. And you can use that as a bony landmark and just come straight through into the center of the knee, through the gastrocs, and out the side. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use my thumbs and just sink in. And lighter pressure, but there's a really nice point right in the center of the popliteal crease. I believe that's what they call it, popliteal crease. So it's called standing mountain, so it really helps support the internal structure of the knee. So just do something like this a little bit. And then I'm going to come right through the gastroc head, just like we were doing when the person was in supine and we're letting our pads of our fingers go here, same meridian. Now we have the advantage of coming down into the meridian. So brace thumb right in between the gastroc heads. And the meridian, when it comes down, it's going in between the gastroc heads, and when the gastroc muscle turns into its tendinous attachment, the Achilles tendon, and attaches onto the calcaneus, the meridian comes through the head, and then just as it turns into tendon, it veers laterally and it goes in front of the Achilles tendon, but behind the lateral malleolus, right in this groove. And then comes right onto the side of the foot. So meridian comes here and onto the side of the foot. And you can work the source point here right at the base of the fifth metatarsal, because at this angle you can apply pressure right onto the bottom very nicely. Yeah. And that's the course of the bladder meridian. But here you want to apply a little work here for the foot. So this is a nice way of doing it, because this shape fits very nicely on that shape. So it has nice support. And you can use your forearm to come and just roll. One way of doing it, and many ways of doing it. Okay, pressure? Mm-hmm. Not too much? No. Makes you feel good? Yeah? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. One more thing. We're going to take, like this. See, so because we're going to get in here a little bit more. So, what to do? So, it's in figure 4, so I'm going to brace this knee and come over just like this. I'm going to use my forearm now to come down and away from the sacrum. So I'm working just off of the sacrum, moving muscle away from sacrum. See eyebrows? You can't see her eyebrows going up every time I go like this. Somehow there's a fascial connection between the gluteals and the eyebrow. Just makes a mental note of that. So now right in between sacrum and greater trochanter. And then I use the greater trochanter, you know, all of the, there's a lot of muscular attachment on the greater trochanter. So you want to address the contour of the greater trochanter. So here is the leg, the femur coming up, and here's the greater trochanter. And you have muscular attachments all around this contour. So you can work it that way by finding and then coming right up against the bone and just pulling away, like move the muscle away to get a little stretch. So that's nice working a gluteal. And then we're just going to come up like this and end with psoas stretch. So foot coming up on lower back, so the arch of the foot is over the lumbar. And I'm gonna, when I bend down to get the foot, I'm bending at my knees, not at my waist. So come down, two hand contact, inhale, exhale, just stand up. You get nice psoas stretch.
Feel good?
So this is not a stretch where you lean back. This is a stretch where you just stand up. If this is too much and you want to do a psoas stretch, say the leg is very big, which is not the case here. Do this also. Right. So I'm supporting the knee, and I'm putting my forearms here on the leg, and I'm just basically rocking back. Okay. And then transitioning to the other side, you repeat. Right. So let's, thank you. Let's get together and practice that now. Okay, thanks.